Hello, hello, Corkies. Guess what? We have
Guess
a
what?
repeat. We are so excited to have our special guest again today. I'm being real extra because I already know.
Yes. It's gonna be good.
I already know.
Oh my God.
Yes. So, of course, my name is Heather, and I am a licensed mental health counselor. All y'all Corkies already know. And I am joined by.
I'm Ariel. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, like you guys know.
But so for our real deal Corkies, you have already heard this phenomenal woman's
Oh my gosh.
voice before, and probably fell in love with her just like we did. So we're going to explain in a second why we really felt the need to come back, and especially right now to come back and talk to her. But I am going to let her introduce herself first.
Hi, I'm Andrea Castine. I am a certified transformational coach, and I specialize in recovery and trauma, but everything in between, it can get done. And I am so thrilled, honored, and blessed to be here. Hello, Corkies. Thank you so much, ladies, for having me back. Happy Sunday, everyone. Let's talk.
Yes. Let's talk. So what is tomorrow?
Oh my goodness gracious. So tomorrow is Monday, October 4th, 2021. And it is my 17th year consecutively sober. No mood, no mind, no altering drugs. Wow. And I'm blown away. I'm still excited as I was when I got 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 1 year, 5, 10, 15. Wait, did I say 5, 10, 15, 16, 17? Yes.
Congratulations.
17. Thank you. And I'm not jumping the gun because tomorrow isn't here. You understand what I'm saying? Like I could wake up as long as I wake up on the other side of the dirt, on this side of the dirt, I will have 17 years sober. So yes, thank you.
Well, I already know you're going to do it. We know
yes.
You're gonna do it. There's no doubt about it. You've made it this long. And I think one of the things you mentioned in a previous podcast is just knowing what that looks like versus what the life you have now, right? And so the life you have now, I'm sure, is amazing, and you're not willing to let go of that.
No, absolutely not. No. Not only am I not willing to let go of what I have now, I'm not going to be disobedient to the calling that's on my life moving forward. You hear what I'm saying? I'm talking about the masses.
Yeah.
This is not for me.
Yes. All right, Cookie. So I don't know if y'all feel like I feel, but I feel like we got to do like a coping skill and some deep breath real quick.
Before we get started.
Yes, before we get like woosah, get centered really quick, and buckle up, because I feel like this is gonna be a whole emotional ride, but it's gonna be full of goodness.
Yes.
All right. So first question out the gate. So we had a little bit of unfinished business last time, right? And so piggybacking off of the first session, the episode where we had you, one of the topics came up as learned helplessness. How would you define that?
Doing for others what they can do for themselves. Okay. Let's keep it real simple, because I can extrapolate and this and this and that. Doing for others what they can do for themselves. That's not helping. That's harming. That's enabling. That's a full sentence. That's not helping. Period. That's when they're, when people are 4 and 5 and they need help tying their shoes long before Velcro. Let me date myself. That's something completely different, right?
Mhm.
9 and 10 cursive writing. I'm dating myself again because I know they don't teach that anymore.
Yeah.
Learning how to drive, parallel parking. Let me put the cones out before you go to DMV. That's helping. Grown people, and grown is a word that is thrown around, right? My son is 21, and I had a conversation with his dad, who is my ex-husband, and we have a beautiful relationship. And he was like, yeah, but he's grown. And I was like, you're right, because he's 21, so he can drink and carry a gun and vote and all this. And of course, every state is different, but he's not grown.
Mm.
And I'm not even going to get into the fact that I'm going to pull out my checkbook and prove to you that he's not grown, because I'm blessed and honored to be able to pay his tuition,
Mhm.
but he's not grown.
Mhm.
He's growing
Mhm.
Ooh.
into the man of God that he's been called to be, the man that we've raised him up to be. So yes, he's legally grown, but he's not grown. He's
Mhm.
growing. So if I do something for my son that he can do, for example, okay, Elijah, I'm going to call financial aid and I'm going to make sure that all your paperwork is in and that, you know, the I's are dotted, and you chill with the boys. I don't think so, because that's not who I raised. My question is, Elijah, do you need any help with anything? You know what, Mom, I could use help with this. Have you tried already? You know what, Mom, I did, and I didn't get anywhere. Okay, do you want to do it together, or would you like me to take care of it for you? Mom, can you take this one and I'll take this?
Mhm.
You got it.
Mhm.
You got it.
Good. Do you think people ever finish growing, or is that always
No,
okay? Okay.
I apologize. I'm working on my
No.
reeling my. I have a fishing hook, and I'm like,
I am the last person you have to apologize with that, because I suffer from that same issue. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
No, I asked that question because I usually lace it with a lot of humor, but at the end of the day, I'm very serious. And so I'll crack jokes about, oh, when I grow up, or, you know, oh, I'm gonna be like you when I grow up for certain things, because
Right.
I do believe in being a lifelong learner, right? And that
Mhm.
grown is very relative, like you said.
Yep.
And in some areas of my life, I feel very grown. And then there's areas where I choose not to be grown.
Right.
Don't have to, right? But I love that you said that and explained it, losing your son in that way.
Yeah. I love that you said that you choose not to be grown in some areas, right?
Yeah.
Because we do have that choice, right? But there are certain things that need to get done.
Mhm.
And whether you want to or not, they need to get done. And I'm not going to perpetuate whatever, you know, I've had partners throughout my life. I have a fabulous husband now. But I've had partners throughout my life where I was like, wow, I really should have gotten my social work degree, because the time that I'm pouring into you, I'm sure I could have some letters behind my name. And I'm not saying anything that I didn't say to their face. And I got to a place where I had to say this very last time, I love you. This is what I said to this man. I said, I love you, but I love me more.
Mm.
And this is the last time we're going to have this argument about me being your social worker, coach, mother, big sister, best friend. No, no, I'm not going to be that.
Mm.
And see, for me, that's very grown, to be able to have that conversation and to come to that place and stand in it and not revert back, you know, because a lot of times we'll say, oh, I'm not going to put up with this, or I'm not going to do this no more, and then we're right back in it again. So I think
But
that's very grown and shows a lot of growth.
And
Especially with society today, they'll have you thinking that this struggle love situation is where it should be at, and that you should take on a lot more than I personally feel we should as women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know I deal with a lot of that in my practice of, and I'm a believer, I'm a strong believer, but even women who are married and feel like they're just stuck because of marriage. And I'm like, I don't think we're reading the same Bible. I just
We're not,
think we're
come on.
Society tells you that that's love, right? To stick with someone through whatever and let them be helpless sometimes, right? And then you're doing the work or being a social worker, and that's, you love yourself more, like you said.
Right. Yeah. There's a time and place. Look, I lost my grandmother. It'll be 2 years on October 12th. And I'm just able to say that without shedding a tear. And I remember when she first passed away, I went to work and I came home and I was in my bed and I had my Sour Patch Kids and I had my Cool Ranch Doritos and, and I had my husband and he knows who I am, right? He's not new. We've been together long enough to where he knows that some days I have on a cape and some days I don't. And then I need to remind myself that I really don't have on a cape. You know what I mean? Because I'm a human, right? I'm flesh, but some people are like, oh my gosh, you're a superhero. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm really not. But all I could do was go to work and come home. And he gave me that. We actually had a conversation about it. I said, this is where I am right now. You know me well enough to know that I'm not going to remain here, but this is what's happening. And I don't need you to tell me it's going to get better. Just, we've been together long enough to where he knows what I need. I need those big arms to pull me in, let me sob, pass me a Kleenex. I'm going to pray through it, cry through it, write through it, meditate through it, worship through it. And then I'm going to be Andrea again. But to just enable, and that's my man, stand by your man. Beautiful song. Beautiful. Love the song. I'm not going with that sentiment to my detriment or to his. I love my husband. I love my son. I love my daughter. Why in God's name would I enable them into this place of helplessness? I'm not living my life codependently. Not doing that. That's a different topic, but you understand what I'm saying. Not doing it.
Andrea, what does accepting responsibility look like to you?
I'm going to ask you to drag your A and say Andrea.
Andrea. Sorry.
You don't have to apologize. It happens all the time. What does accepting responsibility look like to me? For me personally, owning what's mine and leaving the rest on the table. In relationships, I'll say, I apologize. What I did was ugly, selfish, manipulative, disrespectful. I'm not going to say, well, if you didn't talk to me that way, I wouldn't have had to talk to you. No, that's not owning responsibility. That's saying that I lost my mind as well as my religion and came at you that way because you did something. That's me saying that I'm only behaving this way because you set me up. No, because my goal, my desire is to be consistent in my behavior, in my actions, in my responses, in my walk in life. And if you come at me a certain way, look, I've been in corporate long enough to know that you let the customer yell, scream, and rant. There is a mute button on your phone. And you just do the get back to where you need to be so you don't lose your job. And that's what it looks like for me. owning my part, admitting my part, saying my part out loud, and working on changing that. Because that's the difference between, for me, that's the difference between saying sorry and apologizing. In parentheses, repenting, but that's another topic, right? Sorry is real quick. Sorry flows as quick as I love you some days. Okay. But I apologize for speaking to you that way. I apologize for slamming the door. I apologize for walking out on you. I apologize for cursing. You know, when my son was growing up, he would say, sorry, Mom. And I'd say, I know you are. Let's talk about it. Let's use the word I apologize, and let's be real specific about why you're sorry. I apologize for slamming my door, Mom. I apologize for being 10 minutes late for curfew. My son had a time frame on when he needed to respond to my text. Otherwise, there was a problem.
I love it.
I apologize for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because you can't expect for someone to change their behavior if they can't really articulate what it is that they need to change. So you have to be on the same page about that, right? Yeah.
Right.
Because they know, right? Because a lot of those I'm sorry's are only because I know that
they were caught.
Yeah. They know I know you're upset and I want you to move past being upset, right? For whatever reason, versus just, I don't want to have to deal with you being upset. It makes me feel uncomfortable or whatever, and they want to move on. But the apology, right? It needs a conversation so that you know what that change behavior is supposed to look like.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The I'm sorry is almost just kind of like an automatic response for some people. They just say sorry because that's what they think they're supposed to say. And they don't really mean it sometimes. So I like the I apologize for sure. And saying
I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
So what is your definition of being transformed?
Wow. It's so many things. It's not accepting old behaviors from myself and from others. I caught myself the other day, somebody asked me a question and I said something and I was like, Andrea, seriously, that's rude. And I looked her in the face and I said, I apologize. I said, I answered way too quickly and way too sharply. And that's not who I want to be. And she was like, oh, I know what you meant. I said, I know you know what I meant because we're close enough. But I apologize because I answered way too quickly and way too sharply. So for me, the transformation comes from within and then outside, right? Like I have so many things, car, house, jewelry, blah, blah, blah. But I still have such a great appreciation for those things because the life that I had almost killed me. And now I have this life of which I am so incredibly grateful for. I put my key in the door and I'm still like, wait, what? I used to live on the A train. And for those of you that are not from New York, that's the subway. Okay. And now I have a house, a mortgage, 2 floors. So transformation comes in so many ways. No, I don't live on the train. I live in the house. I'm not going to the shelter for my meals. I'm not going to the food pantry for food. And all of those things are okay. Living on the train is not okay. Going to the pantry is okay. Living in the shelter is okay. Today, when I go into rehabs, domestic violence facilities, shelters, and share my story, where I was, where I'm not, where I am now, where I know that I'm on my way to, I get to leave. I used to live in a locked facility. My mother dropped me off on my birthday one year, and she grabbed a bag and I grabbed a bag, and we both started walking, and the guy said, ma'am, where are you going? And she said, oh, I'm going with my daughter. He says, no, you're going to give her her bag and you're going to hug her.
Mm.
And now I go into these facilities and I get to walk out.
Mm-hmm.
The transformation is, we could do an entire series on transformation: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, right? I'm not, ooh, he's cute. Ooh, look at that car. Please, let's go deeper than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go deeper than that. I want more than that. I try not to throw around the word deserve, because if I got what I deserved, we wouldn't be here this morning.
Mm.
I'm worthy. Okay. I'm worthy of self-respect, respect from you, love, accountability, transparency from my partner, respect from my customers, timely clients, no-show fees, late fee, whatever you want, right? I saw your head. I saw your head and your shoulder.
I have a question about that.
Please.
When did you realize that you were worthy?
Oh boy. It wasn't 17 years ago. It wasn't even, it started peeking through around the 10-year mark.
Okay.
Let's tell the truth. It started peeking through around the 10-year mark. And, like it was said earlier, there are areas in our life where we are grown up, choose not to be grown up, don't want to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a process, right? But in terms of relationships, I was in that crazy relationship for a long time. And I was like, this is it. I even made a stand one day and I was like, it's the 4th of July and I'm declaring my independence from this. Child, please. 2 days later, we were in the diner and I was crying and he was apologizing.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So today, on my 17-year eve, I am more worthy than I was 15 years, 12 years, 10 years. And it's a process, right? Because you love being a lifelong learner.
Mm-hmm.
So do I.
Mm-hmm.
This is a journey, not a destination, right? How many times have we heard that before? This is a process. I'm not done. The worthiness that I'm walking in today, I am a queen. I'm working with a client now and she always says to me, oh my gosh, I'm a queen in training. I said, you better own it.
That's cute.
You better own it. Today, I'm a queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in training. I'm in training for the more, because I understood the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in training for the more, but I'm a queen. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Andrea, the headlines are buzzing about the R. Kelly verdict. Do you have any thoughts or any feelings about him?
I'm heartbroken on both sides of the aisle. I have, as a survivor of sexual abuse on many levels, from being a very little girl to a teenager to an adult, I'm heartbroken. on both sides of the aisle.
Mhm.
It is not for me to say that he is guilty and got what he deserved. It is for me to say that I pray that it played out the way it was supposed to, and that healing will be offered and received on both sides,
Mhm.
because it's tragic.
Mhm.
It's tragic. I know from my own experience that sexual abuse manifests itself alcoholism, drug addiction, self-harm, toxic relationships, workaholic, constantly trying to get away from yourself, trying to get away from I couldn't run fast enough. I couldn't work hard enough. I couldn't shop enough. I'm heartbroken
Mhm.
for him and for his accusers, because it's a tragedy.
When you say heartbroken, right? Because I want to make sure our listeners really understand what you mean by that. What do you mean by heartbroken?
For those of us that have gone through sexual abuse, assault, incest, the life that we've lived through it, trying to hide, keep it a secret, that feeling of, I know they can somehow or another, they can see it on me, they can smell it on me. That's heartbreaking. And then to finally have enough oomph to say, this happened, he did it, it happened like this, it was this day, it felt like this, he smelled like this, the weight was heavy. I remember the room, I remember what I was wearing, I remember what he was wearing. I still have this scar, I can't hear this music, this cologne. That's the heartbreak. And to know that healing is possible, but it's so hard.
Mm.
It's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people choose not to.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned it the last time I was on. I had a client that said to me, I don't want to work with you anymore. And I was like, oh, okay. And I knew enough. I'd been doing it long enough to know that it wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, can I ask why? She said, I have no desire to go any deeper.
Mhm.
I said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So back to your question. So that's the heartbreak on that side.
Mm-hmm.
And the heartbreak for him, as someone that could do what he has been found guilty of, what did he endure? Where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you a sociopath?
Mm-hmm.
And the three of us know the percentage of sociopaths in the world is minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I say, what have you seen? Where have you been? What's been done? Entitlement, I'm your, why not?
Mhm.
So many things.
Yeah.
Regardless of what his answer is, it's still a heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
It's a heartbreak.
Huh.
He has family,
Mhm.
Yes,
parents. See, and I don't know him like that, but
mm-hmm.
parents, children,
Mm-hmm.
cousins,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you talked about making those choices and going deeper is difficult, right? And so tomorrow marks your sobriety anniversary. Right. So tomorrow marks your sobriety anniversary, 17 years. And so what was or what has been the most difficult aspect of the journey so far?
The most difficult part of the journey has been walking in my worthiness. That's not a question. Walking in my worthiness. Because I had so many years of unlearning to do that I didn't even really understand why I was doing it. You know, counselors and therapists and rehabs, they tell you, do this. And even if you don't want to do it. And then it will become the norm or a habit. But once these changes and suggestions and therapeutic behaviors became a lifestyle, I had to learn how to walk in the worthiness. And part of walking in the worthiness is leaving relationships. Intimate relationships, friendships. I have a chapter in a book all about what they say now is what we're not going to do. But that wasn't popular then. I had this friendship that it didn't serve me well anymore. And I didn't like who I was when I finished hanging out with her. And yeah, it's not cute. That's not walking in the worthiness. That's that you're bringing something to the relationship. I'm bringing something to the relationship. Neither of us is really happy, but you're the only person up at that hour. I'm the only person up at that hour. So, okay. Right. So yeah, walking in the worthiness, is has been the most challenging, because it's even about turning down work, not accepting every client. No is a full sentence, period, not comma. Well, why not? Yeah, because what? I'm not being rude. I don't owe you an explanation. My time is. So did I.
Blame myself when no one's even asked me the question, that I just volunteered. So I love that you said that. Like, no is it's a whole thing all by itself. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a whole thing, and walking into my worthiness, leaving relationships, not accepting every client, turning down jobs. And then the worthiness goes next level, because after worthiness comes obedience. Between its worthiness, assignment, obedience. Not that I didn't get the call before, because I had the call. I knew what I was supposed to be doing, but trust me when I tell you, I knew there must have been a mistake. Or that I would just do it on this level or this level. And now it's about the masses. It's about my corner of the world, whatever that looks like. Whatever hemisphere it's going to fall in. Passport, stamp, another passport. This one's full, whatever that looks like. The worthiness was the hardest part, was the greatest challenge. And that's a process too. I'm not fully worthy, but yes. Biggest challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. So you exude confidence and positivity. How do you stay so positive?
I have joy. It's joy. And the joy is within, and it works its way out, and it looks like this.
Mm.
Happy as a sale at Macy's. Joy is something completely different. Because trust me when I tell you, there's some stuff going on back here. What am I going to do? I cried about it. I prayed about it. I did my worship dance. I meditated. I journaled. The joy is still here.
Wow.
Because joy is divine. It's not circumstantial. It's not, oh, it's sunny out. It's not, woo, them shoes. That's not joy. Joy is, girl, let me tell you what this child did today. But I'm okay. And so is she. That's joy. That's where the positivity comes from. Because I have so many sober references that I didn't drink over, use over, cut myself over, sleep with a stranger over. Let's get down to the nitty gritty, shall we? Because I and so many others recovering from whatever it is we're recovering from act out. Food, booze, drugs, men, shopping, women, jobs, gambling. It's that God-shaped hole that we fill, that I filled, keep it on myself, that I filled with everything I could get my hands on. And I don't do that today. And so that's how I remain positive, because 17 years worth of stuff, crap, has been, life happens, right? Life on life's terms. And I didn't drink over it. I didn't, 30-second rule. I'm gonna lose my mind for 30 seconds. I'm gonna yell, I'm gonna scream. I'm not breaking anything because I'm not sweeping up anything. I'm not throwing anything because I'm not mopping anything. I'm not. I don't mop. I don't sweep. But I'm gonna give myself 30 seconds to lose my mind, and then I'm pulling it together. Or a minute, or two, or 5.
So
we have to, go ahead.
No, because you just made me think of something else, right? Because a lot of times, especially with women of color, right? We're kind of taught to do that to the extreme. Yes. And so I would like, if you don't mind, to speak to that and with the difference of what you're talking about as far as allowing yourself to have that moment and then quickly pull it together, right? Because I think people think that they have to do that, but I'm assuming, right, please correct me if I'm wrong, that you're still doing some processing about that matter and not just sweeping it under the rug.
Right. So what you're asking me is, how did I get to the place of being okay to be a hot mess for a little while?
That, and it is okay to be a hot mess for a little while.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It is okay. And when I wasn't okay, when I didn't give myself permission to be okay, I did other things because I worked 60 hours, so I deserved a drink. I didn't punch her in the face, so I deserved a bag. There has to be a positive way to lose it. Whether it be running, boxing, dancing, angry writing, and don't send the letter. restraint of pen and tongue.
Mhm.
Do I need to say it? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said now? Will this serve? Who's this going to serve? I may be getting off topic. I feel like I'm getting off topic. It's okay to not be okay. And I give myself permission that, and yes, it is still a process for me. It really is, because doing what I do, doing what the two of you do, people look at us and they're like, she got it. She good. There's the Facebook post that says, check on your strong friends. We're not okay. Right?
Yep.
And I have a close friend, and we call each other lions because we're both the strong friend, and we take care of each other, because who takes care of the lion or lioness? Who takes care of the strong one? So
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question.
You did. Yeah, you did. I just wanted you to say a little bit more about that, because again, in life and in practice, right? I'm the strong friend, but then also I counsel with a lot of strong women. And when I tell them, like, it's okay to have an off day, they look at me like I've got like 5 heads and I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, no, give yourself that grace.
Right.
To be in that moment and to feel that moment. So
Right.
I love that you were saying that.
Right.
So
because in actuality, if we don't take care of ourselves, we're going to break down in one area, and then we're not going to be able to be that strong friend. Or we've been that strong friend for so long that the next time you call my phone or knock on my door, not that anybody knocks on my door, because that's not this generation. I may lose my mind on you. Right? Because I didn't give myself that release. I didn't say, you know what, Andrea, enough. Enough. I'm not taking another client. No, we cannot extend the session. No, I don't want to go shopping with you because I know it's going to be you. Right? No. Because I need to refuel, address some stuff with me, and then I can be there for you. I don't want to live in resentment. I don't want to live in, I don't want to live in that.
Right.
Yeah. So with all your positiveness and stuff going on and all your greatness and learning like where you want to live, right? Where you want to reside at, what has been like the highlight of your 2021 so far?
My son turning 21. My son becoming a senior in college. But something just for me. This. Sitting here with women like you, and I will speak the truth. Sitting here with women of color, that's been the highlight of 2021. To know, because I didn't always embrace this. That's another show. I didn't always embrace this. That's been the highlight. To really get down with, I am Andrea Castine, a queen of color. And let me tell you how I got here. And look you in the eye and do it, and not feel like she's going to think I'm this or that. I don't care. I can't care. I can't afford to care. I have work to do. And if I get caught up in caring and how they're looking at me or what they're saying, my accent, my hair, then I'm distracted. and the work that I'm called to do doesn't get done, or doesn't get done to the level that it needs to get done. It's unfair, it's disobedient, and it's selfish. And I will not be those things. I will be selfish in a positive way, in a self-care, not today way.
Right.
But I will not be so selfish as to say, I can't do that. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
You are a very busy person and you work on so many different things at one time. You have projects going on and different things like that. How can our Corkies support you, and how can they follow you, and
Oh my gosh,
how can they follow your journey and all the wonderful things that you're doing right now?
well, they can follow me on Instagram at One Word Coach, and get ready for the change because it's coming. Hopefully I can just change the name, because it will not be One Word Coach for much longer. It will be Andrea Mack, and Mack is my maiden name. Andrea Mack is the name that I was given the day that I was born, and she is healed.
Wow.
And she will be healing the masses.
Wow, I love that.
And you can find me on Facebook, Andrea Arroyo. That's my ex-husband's last name. And I kept Arroyo because while my son was going through school, there's a level of consistency, which I know the two of you understand. It can get very chaotic. And I married my wonderful husband, Michael Castine, and just haven't gone to DMV yet. So, although on Facebook, I'm Andrea Castine. You can, whatever form of positivity you bring into your life, prayer, worship, meditation, shout outs to the universe, continue to uplift me and the work that I am doing, will do, and continue to do, and that I do it outside of myself for the sake of others. And as I do it, I continue to heal also. And if anybody wants to reach out, if anything I've said resonates, reach out.
Yeah.
onewordcoach@gmail.com.
Yes.
That's it.
Wow.
Well, thank you. I'm not quite sure, and I think I can speak for the both of us. If you do, you are amazing. Like, it's just,
Thank you.
amazing to me. And I think where it shifts to a whole nother level, right, is because when you talk about being able to come and be with us women of color, right, that has not always been the case and not always is the case, to find women who really truly support and uplift each other, without any animosity or jealousy or anything like that. And so it just really, really comes off extremely genuine, and with that care, right, is also, we joke about this, but it really is like a call to action, right? Yeah. And you're out here with the masses, and it almost kind of feels like you are grabbing a hold of, other women. I can't speak for other women, but at least us, right? And say like, come on, let's go, because we got some work to do, right? I have my work to do, but y'all have some work that y'all need to do too, is what it feels like. And that type of accountability, I think, is what we really, really need. But not only that accountability, but that support and love through all the journeys that we're each going through individually.
Yes.
In order to do. right?
Agreed.
And so we just appreciate you coming on and just opening yourself up and pouring into us and just being so honest and transparent and just, it's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank
Everything
you.
Heather said.
Heather, Ariel,
Don't make us cry. I'm trying.
Right.
you know what it is? You know what it is? You touched on it. God, we touched on so many things. But when we talk about women of color, and for you to say that I'm out here linking arms and pulling women of color in for a call to action, when there was a time in my life when I didn't have the pride to look like this, that's next level. That's bigger than the that's the best gift I've gotten.
No.
I'm not. That's the best gift I've gotten.
I can't be on because it's gonna go to the ugly cry.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
So true though.
Yeah, thank you.
And I've never said that. I've said it out loud. Haven't said it live. And so next level healing.
Mm-hmm.
Next level healing.
Yeah. And that's what we need. We need healing. Right? We need growth.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Corkies, I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this as much as we obviously have. Please, please, please go out and support this phenomenal woman. We will, of course, on our social media, let them know how you can be reached. But thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Bless you guys. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Bye.